Oh, shit, I don't even have the screen up, you fucking amateur. Let me get my screen up. There I am. Wait, what screen do I want? What screen do I want? Hold on, let me get a swig of the cold brew, everybody. We're still adjusting to StreamYard, okay? Still adjusting. It's a fucking shit show. You're going to deal with it and you're going to like it. By the way, why am I pounding cold brew at noon in the Lord's time zone? Because it's going to be a fucking wild 5 days of content coming up. Got the Ryder Cup, got NFL Showdown on Thursday, on Sunday, on Monday, got the main slate, got college football. You just pump this shit into my veins, you motherfather. Just pump it in there. All right, let's see if I can get the right screen up. There we go. Look at that. Hey, what's up, new guy? I'm the Degenerate 75. I'm a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. I'm not going to do it with my picks and plays and all that silly nonsense. I'm here to help you with a little thing called the process and to get you quit stepping on your own dick and hopefully help you sustain your money until you can finally hit a big one. If you find you like the cut of my jib, I encourage you to come check out that schedule right there. I do this show every Monday and Thursday live at noon. I do my Final Thoughts show Saturday night. You better be there. The big guy's not a poor. He does giveaways. And, of course, I'm still doing my college football and my PGA streams on Thursday and Friday. And I do a first look every Tuesday with Tambo. Next week, it will be on my channel. If you missed the one this week, go check it out. It's over there on the Mayo Media Network under Ship It, okay? If you are one of those people that were going to come to Vegas with me next month, I've announced this numerous times, but I want to make sure everyone knows this. We are postponing it because Vegas is busy as shit right now, and it's very, very expensive to go there, and that kind of defeats the point of a meetup, right? So we're going to be postponing that. Be looking for, I think February. There's some real talk that there might be a big meetup with me and some buddies of mine there at the Waste Management in Phoenix, which I think could be really fun. Watch the Super Bowl, watch some golf. That's when golf season to me really starts to kick off, right? Make sure to hit the like button over there. For every like I get, I will be giving away a ticket that we will build tonight in the $500,000 maker. So get in there, drop a like, ask up to 2 questions. You ask more than 2 questions, I'm done with your ass. I am done with your ass, okay? All right. Tonight, it looks the game. The game's in Green Bay. Okay, I don't see any concerns about whether it's going to be clear. It's going to be some fog. Okay, but I don't think it's going to be so much that you can't see the ball. You ever seen that fog game in the NFL from the 70s or 80s? That shit was cray cray. So no big weather concerns, but we got plenty to talk about with this slate tonight, okay? First thing is we're always going to talk about is contest selection, because if you don't know, new guy, that's where you're blowing all your money, okay? I know what you're going to do. You got your $50. I'm just going to have a little bit of fun on Thursday night, and I'm going to toss some lineups in there, and you're going to go throw us 3 in this millionaire maker. And what you should do is you should just go give yourself 3 swift kicks of the dick, because that's what you deserve for playing in that, all right? Once again, there's 3 kinds of people that should play in this contest. People that are going to put 150 in it, people that are fucking morons, or people that are playing a free contest with me because they want a ticket. That's it, right? If you're not one of those 3, don't play in it, pal. All right? Just go, look, I'm telling you, this is a thing that I'm just going to keep hitting on because we're not going to dive into all these contests. There's unbelievable great contests. Follow the rules about you want roughly 10% of the prize pool to go to first, second to be half of first, and 10th to be 10% of first. Follow those rules. You're going to be able to find good contest structures, but I'm just going to keep harping on this. Quit playing in contests with over 2,000 people in them. You would be amazed how often you can win a GPP or have a really good sweat in a GPP with just a good lineup if you play in smaller contests, all right? Quit dreaming of always if I just win this much money, it'd change my life. Well, you're not going to win it. You're just going to blow through all your money and quit by week 6. So I'm telling you, man, focus on these smaller contests. Also, something to consider. Always consider double ups, man. I've really warmed up to the idea of playing double ups, which, double ups and 50-50 we call cash game in the DFS streets on these showdown slates, right? You just get the cheap guys who are going to get some usage, grab a quarterback or 2, and you're usually going to get there without a cheap running back that's going to get usage. That's a pretty good recipe to just get you some safe points. Let idiots go play punt wide receivers that are never on the field, okay? Let's get to it. But before we do, guys, if you are building lineups, if you're one of those people that only builds one lineup and you're like, man, I don't really need an optimizer because I just build one lineup. Even if you're building one lineup, you want to build the most optimal version of that lineup, right? And a lot of times you could have a narrative, have your script that you like for the game, but you're not building the best possible lineup. Having projections that you trust, which, by the way, you see my projections right there, they're already loaded in there, and my ownership, and using a good optimizer that you can count on will give you the best forms of that or you can go look at 5 or 6 lineups and see which of those versions you like the most, and then pick that as your single entry. Don't think that you have to be playing 150 lineups to justify the solver, right? Which is the best optimizer out there, or to justify my projections, right? And you're thinking, I'm a casual player. I only play $20 a slate. Okay, I get it, right? And I would not tell you to pay $100 for an optimizer in that case. But $24.99 just for one sport, or you can get all the sports for $39.99, and that comes with my projections and ownerships in there. If you're not doing that, God bless your soul, all right? Because you're working harder and not smarter. So God bless your soul. All right, let's get over to the game tonight. I think we got this is the Rosetta Stone, but it's the dumbed down one, right? Because this is YouTube. This is the show for the pores. All right, so you're not gonna get the colored up Rosetta Stone, and you're gonna fucking deal with it, pal. You want the pretty fancy one, the one that looks like this? Well, come on over to DGen, but we'll get the DGen75.com. We'll get to that later. Okay, there's 3 big pieces of news tonight, right? I guess 4 big pieces, right? There is some linemen missing for both teams, right? And I think on the Green Bay side, it's even bigger news with Bakhtiari out. Bakhtiari? I don't know. I feel like I'm putting too many vowels in that fucking name. So what I would tell you is this, right? Those injuries on the offensive line, I often feel go a little overblown, but I will say I do think it makes the Detroit Lions defense a little bit more playable, because I do think that Bakhtiari being out makes sacks more likely, but I think that that's pretty thin value. To me, the real injuries we want to monitor tonight are 3 of them, right? David Montgomery was initially said, there was rumors that he was going to be out, and then they're like, nope, fuck that, he's going to be in. So I guess he's playing, but I would expect him to be on a slightly less workload, right? I think he's going to be the leading running back that they're going to slam between the tackles on 1st and 2nd down, and I actually think that this makes Jahmyr Gibbs even more likable tonight, right? Because weirdly enough, when Jahmyr Gibbs was the lead back last week, his game isn't smashing between the tackles on 1st and 2nd down. His game is getting out on the perimeter, catching passes out of the backfield, plays like that, right? And I think that with David Montgomery being in there, I think that this makes Jahmyr Gibbs actually a better play, weirdly enough, right? I think that it gets him into more favorable scoring plays and positions than it would whenever he is the lead back. We saw it last week, right? The second big injury we are monitoring is Aaron Jones. It appears as though he will be in also, but may be on a slight pitch count. I do not think we will see that usage we saw from him week 1. No shit that this really hurts the value of A.J. Dillon. First of all, the value of A.J. Dillon was already hurt because the guy sucks, so there's that. But now with Aaron Jones in there, you got to imagine this really is going to hurt his usage. I think that you will still see A.J. Dillon, just like David Montgomery, smashing between the tackles on 1st and 2nd down, and may even get a goal line touch or 2. But Aaron Jones being back really does stifle his upside. But on the flip side of that, Aaron Jones at 10,800 is the furthest thing from a free square, right? Because with him being 10,800, that's really expensive for a guy that I do not think you were going to see week 1 usage. I think you're going to see probably about 60% of that usage he had in week 1. So keep that in mind as you are making your player pool tonight. From there, the other big news is Christian Watson. It appears as though he is finally going to be back, and a lot like Aaron Jones, he is going to be back, but likely to be limited at least a little bit, right? I do not think you're going to see him out there 100% of snaps. I do not think you are going to see him running 100% of the routes. I think you're going to see him eased back in. If I had to guess, I would guess he runs somewhere in the route, he plays somewhere around 50 to 60% of the plays and runs about 50 to 60% of the routes. But at 8,200, at least he's more reasonably priced, right? The fact that he is cheaper than Romeo Doubs is like, what the fuck are we doing, right? I get that he might be on a pitch count, but like if he's not, he is definitively a better pass receiver than Romeo Doubs, okay? Get out of here, Juliet. So Christian Watson, to me, is the more interesting of those two if he plays. Plus, let's face it, Christian Watson can basically get there with one play, right? 160-yard touchdown, he's there. So those are the big pieces of news, all right? And I think with Watson being back, that really starts to kill the value of guys like Wicks and Torrey, right? It's just very hard that those guys are going to be continuing to be out there unless it's 4 wide receiver sets, right? So I think that that's who it really hurts. Dobbs and Reed, I don't think are hurt that much. I think they're still going to be out there in a lot of the 2 and 3 wide receiver sets. And when they're out there on the field, I've noticed that you get more targets when you're on the field. A great mathematician once said, right? So that is the big news tonight, okay? From there, let's go break down position by position, go over it, and then I will answer your questions, and we will get the F out of here because we got a lot to do today. All right, so first of all, over with Detroit, Jared Goff at 10,400. It's kind of weird that Jared Goff is priced so high. I get that. Like, I just would think he would be closer to like 9,400. I thought he would be in the same ballpark as Jordan Love. Weirdly enough, my projections actually have Jordan Love to get more points than Jared Goff tonight, which seems weird because I think we mostly agree that Goff is a better quarterback and a better offense. But Jordan Love offers some upside with his legs that you're never going to get from Jared Goff. So Jared Goff seems a hair overpriced, but I think he gets there in certain narratives, right? I'm not afraid to play Jared Jared Goff, if you think it's going to be a Detroit blowout tonight, I think that Jared Goff almost certainly gets there, right? If you think that this game's a shootout, I think Jared Goff almost certainly gets there, right? But if you think this game's going to be like a 16-13 slog, I don't see any way Jared Goff gets there, right? He offers you no upside with his rushing, and, he really doesn't pass for as many yards as you would think he does. So, Jared Goff is a guy that right off the bat, I'm only playing in certain scripts, how I think this game is going to play out, right? And if I think it's going to be a slog, or I think that the Lions are getting controlled tonight, like they lose something like 20 to 10 or something like that, Jared Goff is never getting there at 10,400, right? I already told you earlier, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a very, very explosive player. I think at 9,600, he's overpriced, and because of the fact that he's overpriced, I think that you're going to get him at an ownership discount tonight, right? Yes, he could be a guy that may only get 12 to 15 touches. That is definitely in the cards tonight. But damn, the guy is explosive, and I think that his 12 to 15 touches tonight will be a lot more valuable than the 15 to 18 touches he had last week when he was the lead back. They're just going to be better touches. Last week, his touches were first and second down run between the tackles, whereas all the other weeks he's been getting targeted out of the backfield and getting that third down work, which I think we'll get back to him tonight, right? Plus, he's just much more explosive than David Montgomery and has the ability to get that big screen to the house or something like that, which can break the slate. From there at wide receiver, Amon-Ra, we still got to monitor that toe situation. He wore the steel plate last week, but it didn't really seem to affect him. He's continuing to just be a target monster. 11,600. I would say he is definitively the safest play on the slate. You can almost pencil him in for 9 targets and 7 catches. Probably 70 yards, and I would say a better than 50% chance at a touchdown. He is the safest play on the slate. Now, the rest of the Lions wide receivers are a bit of a fucking mess, okay? Because last week, Josh Reynolds was out on the field like the whole damn game, and I legit don't know if he got a single target. I'm pretty sure he had no catches and maybe 1 target. Khalif Raymond was out there less, but was getting targeted way more, right? It's not always. I love guys that are on the field, but a lot of times if you're on the field and you're just running straight down the sideline, just running wind sprints every play, sometimes you have really bad games, and that's kind of what Josh Reynolds is. Khalif Raymond is playing from the slot a lot more and is getting targeted on those high percentage passes, right? The little outs, little curls that, when you only get 6 yards, but at 6 yards on DK equals 1.6 points. You do that like 6 times and you get a touchdown, and all of a sudden you've had a monster game, right? So, weirdly enough, Khalif Raymond might be the better value than Josh Reynolds just because he offers that safer floor with easier targets, right? Josh Reynolds definitely has the bigger upside of the two because he gets more down the field passes. He gets a lot more ADOT, average depth of target. But at the same time, at 6,200, he is not exactly a free square because anytime Josh Reynolds plays, he is a 0 burger waiting to happen, right? But he also can get 20 points. So it's kind of going to determine how you think the Lions are going to play. Are they going to be aggressive and chunking it down the field? If so, I think you really want to play Josh Reynolds. At tight end, Sam Laporta is definitively overpriced at 8,000. I'm sorry. I love Sam Laporta. He did me very good last week. Caught the big touchdown. His target share is insane. He is actually getting, I believe, the 3rd highest target share of any tight end in the NFL right now. And I think that he is definitively the number 2 wide receiver on this team. Yes, I know he's a fucking tight end, but he is a wide receiver when it comes to pass catching, and I think that he is number 2 only behind Amon-Ra. Now, the fact that he's 8,000 probably pisses some of you off because you're like, I wanted to play him, but 8,000 is expensive. But honestly, you should be thinking of it as because he is expensive, maybe this is the reason you do play him. Because he is expensive, it's going to keep his ownership suppressed because he is not going to be a free square for people to get in there, so maybe this is a guy that you could get after. So Sam Laporta being overpriced actually makes me like him more, weirdly enough, right? Brock Wright, look, how many times have we seen it? There's at least 5 slates a year where just some scrub-ass tight end who's under $1,000 catches a touchdown and ends up breaking the slate, right? So you got to be aware of that. And, oh, yeah, one last thing. Marvin Jones Jr., I'm going to tell you a little secret about him. Hold on, I wrote down a note here. What did it say? He fucking sucks. That's what it is. So just remember that about Marvin Jones. Thank you, JRK. I see you over there in the chat. Lastly, kickers and defenses, they're like always, right? Kickers and defenses always have a place in Showdown, especially if they fit the script that you think, right? As always, I love a defense against the opposing quarterback, right? If I'm running Jordan Love, I would love to correlate that with the Lions defense because if Jordan Love is passing the ball around and having to just pass 45 times this game, that probably means that the Lions are getting a lot of sacks and maybe getting a pick six or a punt return or something like that puts Jordan Love in a negative game script where he has to pass more. So I do like the Lions defense correlated with Jordan Love. Okay, who I don't like it with is correlated with like A.J. Dillon. I think those two things are directly opposite of each other, right? And if you're going to play the Lions defense, I don't hate also playing Riley Patterson. Say they win this game 23-7. Well, I guarantee if they win this game 23-7, the Lions defense and the Lions kicker both probably had a good game. They could both be strongly correlated in that lineup. And if they're going to win 23-7, 23-6, something like that, I think you would see 5 Lions to 1 Packers being the best build, right? And in that, you would probably want to have the Lions kickers and the Lions defense, and then hope that the other 3 guys, Gibbs, Goff, and Amon-Ra are soaking up that usage, right? Going over to Green Bay, look, they've not been what we were hoping they would be. They haven't been bad. They just have not been explosive. Jordan Love has been solid, but he has certainly not been explosive. At 9,800, I like him actually more than Goff simply just because of the upside that he offers, and I think that Detroit is a better football team than Green Bay, and they are going to be playing from ahead. So if Jordan Love is playing from behind, I think that means more pass attempts. That means more chances to scramble, and when he has more pass attempts and more chances to scramble, I think that he offers a bigger upside than Jared Goff. If you made me take the floor, I would take Goff, but if you make me take the upside, I love Jordan Love. At the running back spot, man, I want to play Aaron Jones, but 10,800 for a guy that might be on a pitch count, that's tough to get in there. And a little secret about A.J. Dillon, I have the same note on him as I have on Marvin Jones Jr. Dude ain't good. I'm sorry. I know he looks good, right? Like, he could probably bench press a small house, but you know what? He sucks, okay? So the Green Bay running backs is a tough situation. I actually think that if they get behind, Aaron Jones becomes more playable because he will be getting more passes out of the backfield. So if you have Green Bay leading this game or controlling this game, I think A.J. Dillon is a play. But if you think that this is going to be a shootout or you think that Green Bay is going to be playing from behind, I think that you want nothing to do with A.J. Dillon, right? And I think Aaron Jones becomes more valuable in those scripts. At wide receiver, Christian Watson, I think the guy's an absolute stud. I wish he would get a clean bill of health. The fact that I think he might be a little limited is a little concerning tonight, especially at 8,200. But the fact that he's only 8,200, it's hard to not want to give him a punt, right? It is really hard to not want to give him a punt, especially at captain, because nobody will play him at captain. And let's say he only runs 50% of the routes, and he gets 6 targets, but he gets 5 catches, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He could still get there, right? So he is a super sneaky play. You're just really relying on his efficiency. And if you know me, I'm not a guy that loves to rely on efficiency very much, right? From there, I think the only other 2 wide receivers I'm really interested in are Dobbs or Reed. I do not think that their usage is going to be completely killed by the return of Christian Watson. I think you're still going to see them out there. They're still going to get targets. They're still going to get plenty of snaps. Where I think you're really going to see the guys get nerfed is going to be Wicks and Torrey, right? Those guys are now going to be the 4th and 5th wide receivers, and 4th and 5th wide receivers in the NFL just don't get a ton of run, right? So could they get there with one big play? Absolutely. But I am not lining up to play Dontavion Wicks at $5,000. Polly, tell him, get the fuck out of here. Luke Musgrave, the guy is kind of a target animal, right? He got another 8 targets last week. He is a dude that I'm telling you, like the tight ends. This is one of the few slates I would ever say I love double tight ends on this slate, right? Musgrave is probably appropriately priced. Laporte is just a hair overpriced. Give them both to me. I think you could make a very decent argument that Musgraves will get the most targets tonight for the Packers. And if he gets the most targets at 6,400, he's probably a guy you're going to want to have in your lineups, right? Now, what I would say is he's on the field 80% of the time. He's running an insane amount of routes because, he's like their only tight end. And Jordan Love clearly likes him, right? He clearly likes him. So Musgrave, a guy at 6,400 that I think will probably get at least the 2nd most targets for the Packers. And in that case, I'm in. As always, the kickers and the defense. I always like defenses at home. This game is in Green Bay, and anytime a defense is at home, they just seem to play better, okay? I've never actually seen the stats on it, but I bet that is a thing. So, the editor, by the way, in the private chat, keep me updated on the number of likes we're getting. All right, editor says we're at 36 likes. Y'all better get to smashing the like button, you motherfathers. That's an old message, though. So the Packers defense I'm always warm to, especially if you think they're going to be leading. I also like Packers defense correlated with Jared Goff because I really think the only way Jared Goff has a big game is if the Lions are playing from behind trying to play catch up with the Packers, right? As far as the kicker goes, sure, you can always play a kicker. The Lambo. If you think this game is going to be a slog, kickers do tend to outpace wide receivers and running back in sloggy type games, right? If he is going to get 2 to 3 field goals and an extra point or 2, he will likely outpace a lot of the running backs and tight ends and wide receivers, and he could have a place in a lineup. But it really comes down to the narrative that you think, right? He just updated. He says 51 likes. We're not even to one giveaway yet. Man, people are stingy with. We got 118 people in here. 51 likes. What the fuck's wrong with these people? What are we doing? What are we doing here? All right. Hey. That is my breakdown of the game. Let's get to some questions, but before we do, guys, come check out dgen75.com. I can assure you it is the fastest growing community in all of DFS. We're doing things different. We focus on 3 things. We focus on process and not picks and plays. We focus on the community winning, not our moderators winning. And we do all of these things without price gouging the shit out of you. Speaking of those guys in the community winning, check out all these winners from my community last week. These motherfathers, all kinds of dudes just smashing it. I told you it would continue over whenever we got to football. Incredible week for all of my guys here. Look at these dudes. El Franchise and M. Bosch, Arlier, King of the North. That guy, he's a legend. All kinds of dudes winning. And I have the best tool in all of NFL DFS called the Rosetta Stone. I do it for every Showdown slate and every main slate. Has everything you need. Here is the one from last slate. You guys get the one on YouTube for the poors. This is what the guys who aren't poors get over on the site. You're like, man, I want to try your stat, but I'm a little nervous. Just go sign up for my newsletter. It is in the description of this video. You sign up for this newsletter, you will get a free week. You just simply reach out to the editor. You can see it right down here at the bottom, support@dgen75.com or at supportdgen75 on Twitter. Reach out to either of those. They'll give you a free week on the site, and once you sign up, you'll stick around. Editor, did we get to 75 likes? If we did, go ahead and do a giveaway. If not, you make them wait. We aren't giving away nothing. We're not poors, but we do have scruples. We do have scruples. You will do it, or we will not. 67 likes, the editor says. All right, while I wait on you guys to quit being like hoes, start being like hoes, I guess is what it would be. I am going to get to some comments. Nick with the super chat. I asked too many questions. Don't boot me, editor. Do you think it's a good play with rushing upside with the O-line issues? Yeah, I mean, look, what suffers more whenever O-linemen are out is passing offense, right? Because it's easier for backup fat guys to run block than it is for backup fat guys to pass block, right? So yes, I do think the passing game will be more negatively affected because of these linemen being out than the rushing game will, right? So that's a pretty good narrative, Nick. And if you want to go with the linemen being out, this is going to be more of a sloggy running game. I dig it. I think that's a really clever narrative that not a lot of people are going to hold on to, right? So I don't mind it at all. Big Nick. All right. Let's see. 3Max, fade Goff and the captain. Yeah, I think there's a real path to fading Goff and the captain tonight. A real path to fading. Because, the one thing about Detroit, you're like, well, if Amon-Ra has a big game, that has to mean Goff has a big game. No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean that at all. Amon-Ra is such a usage monster that he could have, he could go for 10 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown, and Jared Goff could still have 13 points, right? That is a very, very real narrative. So don't think that simply because you want to play Amon-Ra or Laporta that it has to have Goff, right? Goff basically throws the ball to 2 people. All right, Ryder Cup, NFL Ryder Cup, college football Ryder Cup. Yeah, it's a great time to be alive, Nick. I'm excited. Well, other than all the work I have to do, I'm so excited. All right, editor, do a drawing. He said we got to 77 likes. Editor from the chat, draw a name to build a lineup with me tonight. When you win these contests, simply reach out to me on Twitter or the Discord, and we will build together. I will split the profits with you 50-50. I already had to ship some dudes some real money this week, right? Let's see. Snoopaloop. There you go. Snoopaloop has won the giveaway. To get in those giveaways, simply just go ask a question, guys. Just one question, and you're there. All right, moving on. Getting to the questions. Answering questions. If I don't see a question mark, I'm skipping over it because that's how I roll. Craig Reynolds greater than Josh? I mean, honestly, with Montgomery being back, I would take Josh Reynolds over Craig Reynolds. I think Craig Reynolds has no role tonight. Maybe he gets 3 touches or something, but not likely, Bob. Not likely. Craig Reynolds is a hard fade, especially at 2,800. Like, he would almost have to get a touchdown to pay that off. And I would say he's, what I think we have him projected, like, not at all to get a rushing touchdown. Let's see. What do we got him at? Craig Reynolds, we have him projected at 0 touchdown. Oh, no. Sorry, 0.3. So he has a 1 in 30 chance of getting a rushing touchdown. Stack the kickers for this game. Look, big deal. If you think that this game is going to be sloggy or inefficient on offense, yes, I think both kickers can get there. Absolutely. This is a game I would be down for both kickers. But it really just comes down to what you think the narrative's going to be, right? Lunch with Uncle Degen. I mean, hey, cheers to that, you motherfather. Gotta just put that cold brew in my veins, you motherfather. Is this a primetime Aaron Jones game? Look, Snoopaloop, if I thought he were healthy, I'd be all about some Aaron Jones, right? I think that if Green Bay is going to win this game, it would need to be on the back of Aaron Jones. I'm just worried about some of the talk that he's going to be limited tonight, right? That's the only thing that concerns me. Seems like the public is in love with the Lions and the Sharps are backing the Packers. Feel like there's a good narrative to build around? Yes, I love that. Go with the narrative, Dominic, that the Packers are going to control this game and have your Bills be 4-2 Packers or 5-1 Packers. And that right there will have you dramatically different than almost everybody else, right? Because most lineups today will be either 3-3 Bills with Detroit as the captain or 4-2 Detroit Bills. Those will be the most common builds. So if you want to go 4-2 Packers or 5-1 Packers, that will have you a lot different. Can we hit the like button? I hope we can. On FanDuel, do you just try to avoid the top-owned captain? I think that's a good play. FanDuel's stupid in that they only have 5 spots, so you really got to make a point to get different. Brett says, you buying the narrative that Goff sucks outdoors? No, I'm buying the narrative that he just sucks in general. All right, I'll be there in Vegas. Anyone want to meet me? There you go. Nick's just going to still be there. We just left Nick hanging. Could Gibbs enjoy being on the captain in FanDuel? Yeah, I think Gibbs is a very good play. I don't know what his salary is on FanDuel, but definitely. Steven says, if we danced around Lambooey with Herb Street's head on a pole, would it be American Heroes? That's a weird question. Okay. How many people do you play in a lineup that are below 25% owned? I try to get, that's a big question. Higgabanu. I try to really focus on product ownership. So I try to have 1 or 2 guys in my lineup under 10%, right? Under 25%, I don't give it much thought. Musgraves and the captain sneaky with the Lions defense? Yes, I think Musgraves is good enough to be a captain play, and yes, I think he would be sneaky. 2 questions. Who'll be the leading rusher tonight? Leading rusher tonight will be David Montgomery. He'll get 58 rushing yards. That will lead. And is it 7:30 yet? No, but it will be soon, you motherfather. So narrative is always low-scoring Thursday, so I'm the only one who thinks it's going to be high-scoring. I buy that, Caddy. I think that most the Thursday night games have been underwhelming, so maybe play the shootout. Go Goff, Love, and 2 of their pass catchers, right? I think that is a build that will be very, very different. Yep. All right, will Josh Reynolds' ownership be lower because of the stinker? Yes, he will be lower. He will certainly be lower, and it's a good buy spot on him if you think he'll get there. I will warn you, though, the guy averages, no fucking targets, man. For a dude that's on the field so much, he just doesn't get that many targets. Being a Sooner guy, do you know? I mean, I'm from Stillwater, Eric, so I know all about Eskimo Joe's. And let me just tell you, the place is overrated as shit. Okay. I miss old Giuseppe's, which was like their Italian version of that, and that place closed down. The place was so good. Fat Kid Delight. All right. Can I download the projections from the solver and put it in my spreadsheet? No, but if you're over on my website, we post our projections. You can take them and go put them on any optimizer that you prefer, right? Yep. All right. Do you think Gibbs will be more receiving work tonight? I do, Mike, and that actually makes me like him more. That's why I'm kind of excited that David Montgomery's back. I think that it frees our boy Gibbs up a little bit. How do you get different in a 20 max and a lot of EV? So the easiest way to get different is of course, leave money on the table, but really think about the construction of your roster and if you think that Detroit, I can almost assure you Detroit's going to be higher owned than the Green Bay guys tonight. So go put Green Bay guys in the captain, run 4-2 Green Bays, run 5-1 Green Bays, and that right there will get you dramatically different than a lot of people in the contest without just simply playing like stupid punts like, I just got a feeling about that Samare Torre guy. All right, backup tight ends this week again. I guess all they got to do is get 1 touchdown. But I think on this slate, there's enough value that you don't really need to punt at tight end, right? That's just my opinion. Do you like Green Bay quarterbacks more because he has to use his legs more tonight? I do. That's exactly why I like him more, bro. All right, Mac Bryce Sounds. Do you like the tight ends more this week? This is probably one of my favorite tight end slates we've had all year. Is ranch water the cure? No, it's not. Ranch water makes me pass the fuck out. It is cold brew season. Put it in my veins because I'm going to be up all night building lineups for the Ryder Cup and watching NFL football and getting rid of a college football tomorrow, child. All right. Do you see anything under 2K we can seriously consider? Man, that's a good question. I mean, I guess Brock right, but he's more like Brock wrong. Okay. When Ryder Cup projections? When I fucking get to him, Dylan. Calm the fuck down. Okay, I'm pretty sure no one else is even doing Ryder Cup projections. So just be happy you get him, pal. All right. Watson limited tonight? Yes, I think he will be. Laporta. Is Laporta a good captain option? I think he is. I really do. I think he is going to lead the team or second. I think he'll be second in targets would be my guess behind only Amon-Ra. That would be my guess. Could be wrong. Wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot. That's why I don't tout because touts are fucking stupid. Sorry, I'm late. Big guy. Had to restock the cold brews. Don't hate it when that happened. Yeah, look, I had to go make a special run to the Walmart today just to get some more cold brew. Pound like one of these a day. How many ounces? Hey, there's 40 ounces in this. I'm literally having a 40 today. Having a 40 of cold brew. Let's go. One from my homies. No, we're not going to pour that out. They'll get all over me. All right. Should both kickers be in your lineup tonight? I don't usually love both kickers together, Joanne. That's a very specific game type that has to take place for that to happen, and it just doesn't happen enough for me to want to do that, right? So it won't be for me, but if I don't hate it if you want to do it. Thoughts on road home splits for Detroit? Yeah, I mean, look, Detroit is not as good outside, nor as they are as good on the road as they are at home. I think that is worth noting, right? That is worth noting. Musgrave season? All right. Wait. Already ends up Pentrini. Wait, there's another question below Pentrini. What's your opinion on the $200 punts? Worth it with more studs in? Look, there's just not a lot of $200 studs I was dying to get to this week, right? You can kind of see I didn't even put some of these guys on the stone. Who would we have here? If you want to go put Dylan Drummond or Jamison Williams, which Jamison Williams would be bold, seeing he is still suspended. But you never know. Maybe he just comes out there and says, fuck the NFL rules, scores a touchdown. That could happen. It could happen. It won't happen. Let's see. What do you think the most likely game script is? I think that, for the public, I think most people are going to play the Detroit wins this game something like 24-17. I think that'd be the most common script the general public will have, right? Matthew Merrick says, do you like the slog narrative tonight? Yeah, anytime Detroit's on the road, I'm always open to it. And as much as I like Green Bay and I'm bullish on them this season, I do think this does feel a little sloggy for them tonight. I will say that. Does Green Bay's O-line's injuries concern you at all? Yes. Anytime a left tackle is out, BMAC, I do get concerned. David Bakhtiari is widely considered one of the best pass-blocking left tackles in the NFL, and when he's out, that is concerning. Yes. And I've heard this dude, Aiden Hutchinson, doesn't suck. That's what I've heard. That is all the rumor on the streets. Do you know where the like button is? That's right. Editor, no way we're getting to 150 likes, right? I imagine. Let's see. Reed captain low owned? Yes. No, I can't imagine he will be very owned in the captain spot, right? Is GPP 20 max only quarterbacks in the captain spots? No way. This is a game where I don't even really love the quarterbacks in the captain spot in this game. This is a game I'd be playing wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs in the captain spot more, right? I just saw Jesse Spano. Jesse Spano in the comments. Let's go. I'm Ron Burgundy. I am. That is me. Yep. Let's see. Will you be sleeping over the next few days? Will you be sleeping over the next few days? You like Gibbs usage tonight? I don't know what sleeping over means. Sleeping over with you? Where you live, Jay? You like Gibbs usage tonight? I do. I've already said it numerous times. Let's see. Austin Posey. Big night from me on Monday Night Football. How big? Hey, I love to hear that, Austin. Congratulations. All you're doing is just playing for a couple hits a year, and it can be a roo fun, right? Now you're playing with the house's money. Continue your same process. Don't change things up too much simply because you have one big hit is the best advice I could give you. DK has Christian Watson receiving at 38.5. Should I smash the over? I mean, if you think that he's going to play over 50% of the snaps, yes, I would. But they're clearly playing him on a pitch count with that number, right? Thoughts on Money being the lead back? Oh, he'll be the lead back. He'll be playing a lot on first and second down. But I think that you might see Craig Reynolds a little bit on some of those first and second. My guess would be this: is that David Montgomery gets 12 carries tonight. That'd be my goal. So hopefully that puts in some context. What does captain mean? All right, Nick K. So captain, whenever you go build your lineup, right? You go in here and you build your lineup. Your captain gets 1.5x the points, but they're also 1.5x the salary, right? See how Amon-Ra St. Brown is 17,400 at the captain, but when you go put him in the flex, he's only 11,600. You see the difference there? That's all captain means, right? And nailing the captain is the most important part of a lineup because they get 1.5x the points. So most times the captain is going to need to be the guy who scores the most on the slate. Sometimes you can get away with it being a guy who scores medium on the slate, who's cheap because it allows you to get to all the other studs, right? So it's the captain is a super important spot. All right, Christian Watson, first game back. Do you think he'll be highly owned? I do not, Mark, especially with the pitch count news. By the way, when I say pitch count, guys, I'm just saying like he's not going to play all the downs. That's all I mean. All right, I'm using a baseball reference for football. I could see how that could confuse some people. When we have FanDuel ownerships and optimals, editor, get the fucking FanDuel and ownership and optimals. I don't know. I don't. Do we not put it on there? Look, 99% of people play DK. And the biggest thing, you want to know a little something, Leo? When it comes to ownership on FanDuel, it doesn't really matter. We got the buckets on there, right? And as long as you have buckets on there, that's all that really matters. You just need to know if a guy is high owned, medium owned, or low owned. Okay, if I tell you he's 38% versus 44%, is that really going to make any fucking difference for you? It's not. Okay, are you enjoying the new computer? No, I didn't get a new computer. We switched over to StreamYard. We're trying to see if that would figure it out first. And no, I'm not enjoying StreamYard. I look fucking stupid over here. I want to be down here in this little corner down there. Okay? Let's see. Let's go put me over here. Let's see how I look. Okay, I don't like it. Let's see. Moving on. Do you like fading Watson and playing Reed instead? Yeah, I think there's definitely a path to fading Watson, especially if we think he might get some ownership, right? Have you ever played cash in these showdown slates? I haven't, but I should. I'm just a creature of habit, and I don't ever get out of my comfort zone. I love the process. Thank you. Guys, if you don't love the process of DFS, you're doing it wrong. Do not forget, I am doing a stream tonight, 7:30. I am doing a Ryder Cup stream. You fucking be there. If you're not playing Ryder Cup, you're a donkey dick, all right? Don't forget to go check out dgen75.com. Sign up for my newsletter and just get a free week. You won't regret it. And, of course, go sign up for the solver. Good luck to everybody tonight. I got to go get started on some Ryder Cup shit, and then I'll be right back to NFL shit tonight. Be doing a stream for my Discord tonight at 6 o'clock. Come try it out. I hope you've enjoyed this show, but more than that, I really hope you enjoy this outro.